morning, everyone. In today's session, we are going to learn about the cost accounting system, its advantages, limitations, and how we are going to deal with it in the organization. Okay. Till now, we have learned about the importance of cost accounting system when compared to financial accounting system, the main limitations of financial accounting system. So coming back to the cost accounting system, what are the advantages of cost accounting system we are going to learn today. Now, the main advantages we have when we introduce this costing system in the organization, we have to the management, to the creditors, to employees, to the public enterprises, and also to the government. So, first and foremost, for the management, what are the importance? It is going to have, what are the advantages or the merits which the management is going to have? We will learn in detail. First of all, the cost accounts enable the management to ascertain the true cost of each article, process, or contract, or any other unit of production. They help in fixing price and in informing the price fixation policy, particularly when an industry produces several commodities. They provide a reliable basis upon which tenders and estimates can be prepared. Now, next one is they assist the management in developing cost calculations for new products and designs and to determine the profitableness of the other proposed changes. They also enable the management to measure the efficiency and then to maintain and improve it. This is done with the help of invaluable data made available for the purpose of comparison. They help management in the detection and prevention of waste, leakages, and inefficiencies. When there is a slump or a depression, they enable the management to determine as to what extent prices can be reduced and at what stage it will be advisable to suspend the business or close it down altogether. They also provide management with the means of control over all costs, including control on materials, like they follow the LIFO method, FIFO method, average method, weighted average method, etc., for maintaining these materials in a proper and efficient manner. They furnish a basis for a system of budgetary control and for the introduction of standard costing. They distinguish unprofitable from the profitable activities. Hence, it may be said that an efficient system of costing is an essential factor for industrial control under modern conditions of business, and as such may be regarded as an important part in the efforts of any management to achieve business ability. Now, coming to the advantages to the creditors. Cost accounts help the creditors to study the financial position and strength of the business concerns to which they desire to give loans. It has become a policy of many banks that no loans will be made to industrial units unless such concerns have complete cost accounting system which provides or which produces cost reports showing satisfactory needs. Next, coming to the advantages to employees. The personnel of many business enterprises have benefited by the establishment of incentives in the form of piece rates or bonus plans which may be used to compensate all classes of workers, including supervisors, clerks, departmental heads, and major executives. Personnel directors and plant supervisors are depending more and more on data supplied by cost accountants in their rating of employees and in their delegation of responsibility for important tasks. Next one is the advantages to the public. Accounts aid in reducing and controlling cost, which means supplying of goods to the consumers at a very low price. Next advantage to the public enterprises. Cost accounts play an important role in public enterprises. Enterprises owned by the government, public enterprises lack the profit motive and personal interest. So, the efficiency of public enterprises can be measured and maintained only through a systematic collection of costing data and its study. Every public undertaking maintains a costing department to secure economy and efficiency in production. This serves as a guide in price fixation and to control materials, supplies, etc. And the next one, last advantage, is that to the government. Cost accounts enable the assessment of income tax, excise duty, etc. It facilitates the formulation of policies with regard to public finance, industry, business, commerce, foreign trade, etc. It also helps in the preparation of 5-year plans for economic development. In addition to all these advantages, many additional advantages are there. For example, it furnishes necessary data for the preparation of interim financial accounts. It affords an independent and reliable check on the accuracy of financial accounts. It also provides information in order to facilitate comparisons with estimates and also with the recorded cost at previous dates. It enables a concern to decide whether a labor should be replaced by machinery or to reduce the cost of production. It reveals the relative efficiencies of various workers, plants, and machinery. It provides a check on materials, on the flow of materials in the factory and on persons. So these are all the advantages of costing system when it is being introduced in the organization. Now we will learn about the limitations of costing system. First and foremost thing is that many of them say that it is an unnecessary thing. It is often argued that industries have been thriving since time immemorial without the operation of a costing system. Hence, any amount incurred in the installation and maintenance of a costing system would be an absolute unnecessary expenditure. But this argument is not correct because in this age of competition, every manufacturer should know the exact cost not only of each article made but also of each processes involved in its production so that its selling prices may be reasonably fixed. Besides, every manufacturer wishes to maximize his profits by reducing the cost of production to the minimum by applying costing techniques. Therefore, it is not true to say that costing system is unnecessary. The next limitation they say is that it is expensive. It is argued that the expenditure involved in installing and maintaining a costing system is very high, and also they say that small organizations cannot bear. But in this true sense, this actual argument has no strong base at all. The system to be adapted to a particular industry should be adapted to the requirements of that industry after careful study. It should be profitable investment. It should be simple, elastic, capable of adaptation to changing circumstances. It should produce a benefit commensurate with the expenditure involved. If the above mentioned points are borne in mind while introducing a system of costing, the objection of expensive will not hold good, as in the long it will rather improve economical and beneficial to the manufacturing concern. The next limitation they say is inapplicability. Another argument is that there are certain unique or special industries in which modern methods of costing cannot be applied at all. This plea of inapplicability is not correct. Some methods of costing can always be devised to suit to some extent to any type of industry in the world. If the introduction of modern method of costing is not possible and practicable, a working program to ascertain and control cost is always possible. And the limitation is other limitation failure in many cases. The failure of some cases is often put forward as an argument against the introduction of a costing system. This is unreasonable. Why? Because there are many reasons for failure of a costing in industries. Lack of cooperation among staff, lack of obtaining of cost data, not comparing with the actual results with the anticipated results. If these defects are rectified, cost accounting will prove as successful and helpful in many ways to a manufacturing concerns. Then the fifth point is mere matter of forms and rulings. The system of costing becomes as a mere matter of forms and rulings after its introduction. This is a very trivial type of objection. This is not the fault of the system. Forms and rulings are indeed essential for cost control purposes. They should be revised. These all things should be revised and brought up to date to suit the changing conditions and reduce monotony. Next, we should say that costing is an aid to management in many ways. According to Blocker and Walner, cost accounting is to serve management in the execution of policies and in the comparison of actual and estimated result, in order that the value of each policy may be appraised and changed to meet the future conditions. A good costing system is really an invaluable to the management for the following reasons. Many reasons we can say. The first one is that cost accounts enable the management to work out the true cost of each product, process or contract. Second one is that cost accounts provide the requisite data for the fixing of selling prices. Next one is the third main important thing is that cost accounts compute the profits earned on each of the products and advise the management as to how these profits can be improved. The cost accounts assist the management in the control of stocks of raw materials, consumable stores, works in progress and finished goods so that the capital locked up in these stocks can be kept at a minimum. The cost accounts advise management in future expansion policies and proposed capital outlays. The cost accounts enable the management to measure the efficiency and to maintain and improve it. The cost accountants also help the management in the detection and prevention of waste, leakages, and inefficiencies. Cost accounts organize an effective system of reporting so that all levels of management get the required cost data in time for carrying out their individual responsibilities in an efficient manner. Cost accounts guide the management in the formation and implementation of incentive bonus plans. So these all the things will help as an aid to the management. Next, how to install the costing system in the organization. This is a very big process, and in this process, proper care should be taken. Proper care should be taken to see that it is installed in a proper way so as to earn the benefits of the costing system. It is very difficult to prepare a uniform method of costing, though the basic principles of costing are fairly definite. Their application varies from industry to industry. Therefore, steps to be taken for installing a costing system should be very carefully done. The first and foremost is the study of the organization. Before introducing costing system, the existing organizations should be studied properly. The nature of the business, the powers of the managers, technical aspects are to be studied properly. The methods of material control, time recording, and methods of wage payment, etc., should be studied in careful manner. Next one is the determination of costing method. How they are going to evaluate each and everything. Basing on the above, study a suitable costing system should be decided. The system selected should be easy. It should go along with the production, processes. Next one is the determination of cost rates. After selecting the suitable costing system, the cost accountant should decide the cost rates. Rules should be framed for collection, distribution, and analysis of cost accurately and quickly. Different costs should be divided into direct and indirect cost. Methods of pricing materials issues should be decided whether they are going to follow the LIFO method, FIFO method, average method, or a weighted average method. Methods of departmentalization of overheads should be decided first. Next one is the installation of costing system. Costing system will not be successful with the cooperation of the managers. Hence, before introducing the system, their cooperation should be taken. Costing system should be introduced gradually. To the extent possible, existing facilities should be utilized. Existing system should be changed only in unavoidable circumstances. The next one is the cost office. Cost office should be nearer to the factory. Cost office works efficiently when it is nearer to the work spot. Sufficient number of staff should be appointed in the cost office. This office should send reports quickly and accurately. It should maintain stores ledger, labor accounts, and overheads accounts. It should also submit reports to the management for cost control. Next one is the last one, cost office and other departments. Cost office should be an independent department. Cost accountant is answerable directly or indirectly to the general manager or managing director. Cost office must be useful to various levels in the organization. Next, we face many practical difficulties when actually we are introducing this cost accounting system in the organization. Such practical difficulties are, the first one is the lack of support from top management. Usually, the costing system, whenever it is being introduced in the organization, the top management will not at all accept it wholeheartedly. That means they feel that this system is unnecessary interference in their work. They also feel that it acts as a check to their performances. Next, but before the installation of costing system, there must be firm commitment to the system on the part of the top management. Further, before introducing the cost system, functional managers should be consulted. Their cooperation should be taken. A sense of cost consciousness should be created in the minds so that whenever it is being introduced, they get the full cooperation from the top management. The second one is the resistance from the accounting staff. Feeling that they lose their importance, the accounting staff resists the introduction of costing system. Cooperation of the account staff should be sought by convincing them that the system is needed to supplement the financial accounting system. By introducing costing, they may also get promotion opportunities. The next one is the non-cooperation of other staff. Introduction of costing system implies additional paperwork to the supervisors. They may not cooperate and resist the additional paperwork. Such resistance arises due to ignorance. Proper education should be given to them regarding the benefits they enjoy and importance of this system in the present competitive market. The last one is the shortage of trained staff. Industrialists argue that sufficient trained costing staff are not available to maintain the costing system in industries. So, in the initial stages, there may be shortage of trained costing staff, but the existing staff may be properly trained. For this purpose, the assistance of the Institute of Cost and Works Accounts of India may be sought. Now, the next one is there are different methods of costing system. That is, many methods are being available in the costing system that are suitable in different types of industries. The first one is the job costing. It refers to a system of costing in which costs are ascertained in terms of specific jobs or orders. This is also known as a contract costing or a terminal costing. The unit of cost is the job, order, or contract, and the accounts show the cost of each order. This method is suitable for contractors, builders, constructional engineers, printers, municipal engineers, garages, shipbuildings, or repair shops, film studios, furniture manufacturers, etc. The second one is the contract costing. It is a method of costing in which it is it is a method of costing that is to ascertain the cost incurred in each contract and profit earned or loss incurred on each such contract. This system is suitable to all types of contracts and shipbuilders. The next one is the batch costing. It is a form of job costing in which a batch of identical products constitutes the cost of unit. Each batch is separately costed, from which unit costs are determined for the units produced. It is useful for bakeries, confectionaries, or medicines, hardware, pottery, ready-made garments, etc. The other one is the unit costing, or in other words, we say that it is a single costing or an output costing. It is a method of costing by the unit of production where manufacture is continuous and the units are identical. When all the units produced are identical, the cost per unit is ascertained by dividing the total expenditure with the number of units produced in a given period. It may be employed in conjunction with batch, operation, or process costing. This method is suitable for such industries as collieries, quarries, flour mills, steelworks, paper mills, breweries, cement or brickworks, etc. The next one is the operating costing. Actually, this operating costing is nothing but the method of costing applied in the costing of services rendered like transport companies, power supply undertakings, municipal services, hospitals, waterworks, road carriers, hostels, railways, etc. is called operating costing. Transport companies use a ton per kilometer or a passengers per kilometer as a unit of cost, etc. for these purposes. The next one is the sixth one, operation costing. This is a method of unit costing by operations in connection with mass production and repetitive production, where the production is being taken in a very large scale and also that production is being continuously the same process, same method, repetitive production. For this purpose, costing method is being used. It is particularly useful where the production is in large or quantities of standardized units. That is, they introduce the standard costing method wherein all products are identical and they are produced in a very continuous manner. In this method, the cost per unit is found for each operation and also for the finished unit. This method is used in factories, manufacturing cycles like motor cars, radios, etc. Now, the next one is the process costing. Process, the name itself suggests that it is a continuous process that is one by one method. Like one product is produced and this product becomes the byproduct for the another product. It is produced in stages of production, wherein many products are produced, but again in that one product becomes the byproduct for the other products. So this example, for example, we can take the example of like crude oil. Crude oil, in that different processes have will be done, wherein they will take out from that same crude oil like petrol, kerosene, gas, as well as the diesel also from it. So in each process we get different products. So this is not in these types of industries we may introduce this process costing method. This is a method of costing production by processes in which first one, the product of the process becomes the material of a subsequent process, or the different products or byproducts are produced simultaneously at a time at same process, or the products differing only in shape are not separately distinguished from one another during one or more processes of manufacture. So the cost of each process and the cost per unit at each stage are usually shown by the accounts. This method is suitable for such industries like chemicals, refineries, textiles, food, example paints and varnishes, soap manufacturing industries, etc. The next one is multiple costing. Multiple costing, in the sense, this is sometimes also referred to as a composite costing. It is used when there are a variety of component parts separately produced and subsequently assembled in a complex organization. The cost of each product will have to be ascertained by adopting different types of costing, like job costing, or for one product, process costing for another, and some other method for the third product. So as more than one method of costing is used in the same business, it is called multiple costing method. This method is used in factories, manufacturing cycles, or for example, we can say motor cars or engines, any agricultural implements, or typewriters, gramophones, or toys, or furniture, etc. All these types of manufacturing companies use this multiple costing system in their organization for benefiting in many ways. The last and foremost is the departmental costing. Departmental costing, this is a method of ascertaining the cost of operating a department or a cost center. This is frequently necessary because of the need of control of expenditure in a department. For example, the cost of running a research department. The object of departmental costing is to either to determine the cost of operating particular department or the cost of products turned out by a department. A typical enterprise of this type is steel fabrication works, in which may be necessary to ascertain the cost of foundry shop or a tool room for apportionment among steel products. Separate departments are being divided, and in each department separately the cost is ascertained to find which one is the better one, which is one is functioning efficiently and any inefficiencies as are there, they can rectify by introducing this departmental costing system in the organizations. So now there are number of methods which we have learned till now. That is, the first one is the job costing, contract costing, batch costing, unit costing, operating costing, operation costing, process costing, multiple costing, and departmental costing. So there are number of methods of costing systems that are available for the management to choose one of them and then implement in the organization for arriving at a proper benefits which they want to arrive from the organization. The organization benefits a lot with the introduction of this costing system because they will be getting maximum profits with minimum amount of capital, without any wastage, without any inefficiencies being there in the organization, without any wastage of material or labor or any other expenses. All these expenses of materials, wastage of labor, and wastage of expenses, all these can be controlled in a proper and efficient manner with the help of this costing system that is being introduced in the organization. Last and foremost thing which we can say is that costing system has become a necessary system that has to be introduced in a very large concerns which can bear such type of cost so that they benefit a lot. Thank you. This is about the cost accounting system, and in the next session we will be learning how to do different problems in cost accounting system. Thank you very much.